What's up, guys? So, coming in September is Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I'm pretty excited by the prospect of Sega jumping back into the remaster scene. Sega have done some remastered Sonic games in the past, mainly the classics, but they did also do the adventure games for the GameCube system. And obviously they've chosen Sonic Colors to remaster next, as it's a very safe bet. It's a good gateway for people to get into the 3D Sonic games, even though a good portion of it is 2D. But anyway, I get away from myself. I think it's a really good idea for if Sega are taking a bit longer with the main series Sonic games, for them to include remasters to whet our appetites a little more. And I think there's a lot of really great Sonic games out there that are marred in public perception by the stupidest shit that just needs the tiniest little tweaks to improve. The majority of my problems with 3D Sonic games aren't intrinsic gameplay issues, so much as they are usually just the way they've chosen to do the progression of the game, or what is and isn't mandatory to the main story. And if there's one Sonic game where I think it would require minimal effort to re-release it and make it a smash hit, it's Sonic Unleashed, which is obviously one of my favorite Sonic games as well. But I went and revisited it at the start of Sonic's birthday month, as part of a set of 30th anniversary live streams, and I definitely thought a lot about how a remaster of this game could be great. So this is what we're talking about today: how Sega should remaster Sonic Unleashed. So I've broken the changes up into categories. There's the Priority 1 category, where it's kind of like a deal breaker. If they don't do this, then what's really the point of remastering it? There's Priority 2, where it's a genuinely really good idea, but not really a deal breaker. And then there's non-priority, where it's just really if they want to make this the best they possibly can, if they really want to deliver the ultimate Sonic Unleashed experience. Now here's the thing, Sonic fans have really come around to Sonic Unleashed in the recent years. Sonic games have been getting smaller and smaller, up to the point of Sonic Forces being a very small game, and players have been going back to Sonic Unleashed and being like, wow, this is huge, this is much more what we wanted, where people were initially turned off by the Werehog. Now the thing is, for most people, that stigma is still there, unfortunately. So I think the best way to re-release Sonic Unleashed would be as part of a package with Sonic Generations, and it could be like the Sonic Boost collection. As you'd get a lot of people that would buy it for, like, say, a remaster of Sonic Generations, which we can talk about at a later date, but then people would go back to Sonic Unleashed and be like, wow, this is actually a really good game. But obviously there are things about Sonic Unleashed that will alienate new players, which I want to address in this video. So let's start off in the Priority 1 category. These are things I think they must do if they're going to remaster Sonic Unleashed. Now, there is no confirmation or any rumor that there will be a Sonic Unleashed Ultimate, but I think it's a really good idea. Sega, if you're watching this, keep it in mind. I don't need any credit or anything. And if you know someone that works at Sega, share this with them or something. Okay, so Priority 1. The first things first. Overhaul the progression system. As I've said, progression systems are often a big deal breaker in 3D Sonic games when I feel like they just ask too much of the player simply to progress to the next level. Case in point, the Sun and Moon medals. Collecting these in the Werehog stages is alright. It's fine. Collecting them in the day stages, however, completely flies in the face of the Sonic Unleashed daytime stage level design philosophy. You are blasting through these levels at over 100 miles per hour. You're not going to be stopping and looking around for Sun and Moon medals. There, unfortunately, in Sonic Unleashed are not that many alternate paths, and it's not like they're relegated to those alternate paths encouraging discovery and exploration. It's generally just if you're not in the right lane, or if Sonic just isn't positioned right. I'm not saying scrap these altogether, by all means have them in place for like collectibles, or if you want to unlock bonus levels, more on that later, but don't have them as the key progression system. But that doesn't mean I think it should just go act by act either. I do think there should be something in between there, and I think the perfect thing is to utilize the hub worlds. Sonic Unleashed is full of hub worlds with individual NPC missions.
Look, he's watching that child, look. Look where he's looking. See? She's got her back turned, and look, he's just off in the distance. No one's seeing this.
This is
Let's go sort this. Let's sort this bugger out.
Which your average player, if they just want to get on with the main meat of the story, are just going to run straight by. Yet there are missions where you have to protect villagers. There's the hot dog guy. There's the guy that wants his chai tea. These RPG elements are really cool. Have a mandate that Sonic must take part in 3 NPC quests in order to continue. Kind of like the hero point system from the Spider-Man 2 game. This would be so much more engaging for the player than just mindlessly hunting around old levels for Sun and Moon medals. Backtracking in Sonic games isn't a great idea. We're naturally gonna wanna replay these levels at a later date, and Sonic Unleashed is one replayable game. So don't force the player's hand, and just mandate 3 NPC missions at a time, not fucking 30, like it at one stage asks you for with the Sun and Moon medals. You know, it's funny, before I hooked up my Xbox 360 again, I hadn't played Sonic Unleashed in ages, but I did play Sonic Generations, and I did play the Sonic Unleashed project for Sonic Generations. And it's easy to forget just how much Sonic Generations improved on the boost gameplay style. As when I was playing the Unleashed project, I was like, wow, it's just like playing Unleashed again. Revisiting Unleashed, I was like, whoa, Sonic is very slippery here. He's not very well equipped for platforming stages, which makes stages like Dragon Road kind of a nightmare, compared to how intuitive they feel in the Unleashed project. So, swap daytime Sonic from Sonic Unleashed out with the modern Sonic from Sonic Generations. This should be a pretty simple thing to do. A lot of fans have been able to swap assets around between different Sonic games using Sonic Generations as kind of a basis. So if possible, just get the Sonic Generations Sonic into Sonic Unleashed. He controls a million times better, he feels better to play as, he's better equipped for platforming, and as well as that, the homing attack is remapped to the jump button where it should be. That way you're not going to accidentally boost off of a cliff when you really just meant to do a homing attack. Sonic Unleashed has an EXP system which can be used to upgrade both the Werehog and the daytime Sonic. There is really no need to ever upgrade the daytime Sonic, so scrap that entirely. Because a lot of people max out their daytime Sonic and don't bother with the Werehog because they're just not that enthusiastic about it. I didn't even begin to upgrade the day stage Sonic on my last playthrough of Sonic Unleashed, and I have no idea what I was even missing. Scrap that entirely and have him just play like the Generation Sonic from the get-go. The Werehog on paper is not a bad gameplay style. I actually really enjoy going back to Werehog levels, but there is one big problem I have with it, and it's that the hitboxes for the Werehog stages are crap. I'm mainly talking about enemy hitboxes. The amount of times Sonic the Werehog's hand model is clearly touching the model of the enemy, but the hits aren't registering because the hitboxes are just too damn small. Expand them a bit. Like, I get it, you don't want to make it too easy, but there's no reason for it to be that finicky, especially in stages like Arid Sands Night, where you're being attacked by those Gaia bees and just no matter what you do, you can't seem to hit the motherfuckers. As well as that, expand the hitboxes on the balance beams. Balance beams are quite a large part of Werehog Sonic's gameplay, and they can be the cheapest and most stupid bit of difficulty in the entire game. People often complain about the difficulty of Eggman Land being really cheap, but the only part of that level that I really have any issue with are the parts where it asks me to walk on the balance beams because the hitboxes on those balance beams are just way too fucking small. Another problem with the Werehog, especially when it comes to balance beams, is that this guy cannot turn on a dime. You can't do precise turns with this guy because he always takes these big long strides out and walks in these arcs. He always, you can get him to run around in a little circle, but you can't get him to turn on a dime, and that fucking stinks. It makes balance beam sections really difficult and way more tricky than they need to be. So tighten up the Werehog's turning circle, please. Another priority one for the Werehog is to give him more starter combos from the get-go. I think a lot of people just go into that Werehog gameplay and think, ah fuck, he feels weak. Because from the get-go, he does feel kinda weak, and he makes those introductory levels with the Werehog some of the most difficult Werehog stages, simply because you're playing with such a nerfed Werehog. So just give him a base set of combos from the get-go. Not all of them, still have that skill tree, still have all those upgrades, but just give him some more to start off with, to make his gameplay just that bit more engaging from the get-go. And the final priority 1 change is to optimize the fucking frame rate on this thing. The frame rate in Sonic Unleashed chugs. It's a fantastic looking game, which is why there aren't really any graphical improvements in priority 1 here. Remastering this game is more of a matter of quality of life tweaks than it is of presentation, because Sonic Unleashed is one of the most fantastic looking Sonic games ever made. So just get that frame rate working properly. This should be more than doable on most modern consoles. I'm not just talking about the newest gen, I'm talking about like the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch era of consoles. Right, so let's move into Priority 2, where they're not deal breakers, but I'd still really recommend them. For starters, just add ray tracing where possible. Like, if you're rolling this out on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, just add ray tracing to it. On PC, ray tracing. That's really the only graphical upgrade I can really think of. Sonic Colors Ultimate has opted to ditch the live system, and I completely agree with that move. Sonic games have more challenge than just how many game overs you can get. And more so than anything else, the live system doesn't really add challenge so much as it does just add insult to injury. So ditch it. Make the opening cutscene skippable. I've had people tell me it is, but I can never seem to skip the fucking thing when I load the game up. It's a really, really long cutscene. And I love it, and it's one of the best cutscenes in Sonic history. No doubt, yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean I want to watch the entire way through it every time I decide to start a new game. So, yeah, make that skippable. As a matter of fact, there are some players that kind of scrutinize Sonic games for the story element, and I think it's a bit of a flippant thing to do, but I get it. Not everyone plays Sonic games for the story, and the story does take a lot of center stage in Sonic Unleashed. There's a way they can meet the middle ground here, with those that just want enough context to get running, as opposed to sitting through these cinematic cutscenes, and that would be to implement it into the loading screens. The loading screens in Sonic Unleashed are a complete and utter fucking waste. You've got the Miles Electric interface, which is neat, and you've got these tutorials which are completely fucking useless. They tell you nothing you don't know, and they persist through the entire game. As if I'm gonna get to fucking Eggman Land and still need to know how to jump. Give me a fucking break. Instead, use that loading screen real estate to show little snapshots of the story so far with just a little bit of text at the bottom, like what the Arkham games do with their load times. That way, those who don't play Sonic games for the story can still get context as to what the fuck is going on. Besides, even if you do watch the cutscenes, it's just so much more entertaining than just looking at this bare bones tutorial. You also have like a little journal system as well when you boot up the game. Like, you can skip it and stuff, like what they did in the Sonic Adventure games, where the character you're playing as will just clue you in on what's been going on. I think that's a great way to go for those that want to skip cutscenes. The camera in the Werehog stages can be a pain in the dick. Now, the reason this is priority 2 is because I already prioritized a better turning circle for the Werehog and better hit detection. That would really just remedy it, but if they want to go the extra mile, give him a free camera. Just give the player that bit more control over where you're looking, because oftentimes it's the camera angle that's really fucking you over in some of these scenarios, especially balance beam sections. And this next bit's more kind of experimental, but I think the problem with the Werehog, and this does play into the better turning circle, is that he just meets his top speed immediately. He doesn't really have any sense of velocity to him. And that can make it tricky for more kind of intricate platforming. Having a slower starting speed and having him build up momentum to get to his top speed would be a better way to go overall, because it would just give you that bit more control over him. And as well as that, it would make the Werehog just feel that bit more Sonic-y if he has more momentum-based physics with him. And if you do just want to go top speed, you can still use that little sprint button that the Werehog has. I just think, this would be the way to go. This would really improve the Werehog quite a lot. Right, so now let's move into the non-priority section. These would be kind of gratuities to make the ultimate Sonic Unleashed package. So there is sometimes some debate between Sonic fans as to which version of Sonic Unleashed is the better one. I've heard claims that the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed has some better level design in there, so why not use the Sun and Moon Medal system to unlock a bonus act, which would be just a handful of day stages from Sonic Unleashed on the Wii version. This is obviously quite an ambitious move, but I think it's perfectly possible. Considering the Wii version of the game is quite a bit smaller and doesn't have that many day stages, I think they could do this. I mean, you'd get a whole lot more Eggman Land as well. So I think one of the best things to come out of like Sonic Adventure DX was that they let you play through certain Game Gear games in there as well. They had these little virtual consoles, and I think that's a great thing for a remaster to have. It shows you a bit more history of this character. Sonic Unleashed is generally considered the first Boost Sonic game, at least the first mainline Boost Sonic game, so why not give the player a little history on Boost Sonic by including a virtual console for Sonic Rush, so that players can play the progenitor to this new gameplay style. Don't worry about remastering it or anything. I recognize that the game has a lot of problems and a lot can be improved, but like, this is a Sonic Unleashed remaster, not a Sonic Rush remaster, and just adding this in there would be a little gratuity. Another non-priority: include online multiplayer. Have co-op for the Werehog stages. It could literally just be a different colored Werehog. And then, for the day stages, make them versus races. Whoever gets to the goal ring first wins. It's pretty simple. If you kept multiplayer co-op open for all players on all Werehog stages, I think that would add quite a bit to the Werehog as well. Like, I think people would come away saying, wow, it's great that you can co-op the Werehog, it really reduces the workload a little bit, but it's completely optional. And finally, and this is the most non-priority thing of all, redesign the fucking user interface. I know it has its fans, but like, this boost gauge and just like the text and everything is so goddamn 2008. It just prides itself on that metallic, edgy sort of, you know, fucking faux futuristic look. Simplify it a little bit, you know? It looks silly by today's standards. It doesn't need to look all dynamic and intrusive looking, like, just leave it be. So I realize there are other things that people don't like about Sonic Unleashed, but I'm not trying to rob it of its identity altogether. I'm not trying to make the dream Sonic game. I'm just trying to give ideas for how they could remaster Sonic Unleashed into the best version of itself. And I think that these ideas are pretty sound, and perfectly within the realm of possibility. But I'll be interested to know what you guys think, and if you want me to talk about a potential remaster for another Sonic game, please do let me know in the comments section below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are links to my social media piggies, as well as my Patreon, where you can come and fork out your money and shove it up my ass. And to those in the $10 tier, that's Marcus Ward, Sirius the Skeptic, and Biotonuts, you guys are the best. As for the rest of you, take it easy out there in this big bad world, and don't be a douchebag.